Hey, everybody, this is Perch. All right, you asked for it. Conservative, right leaning Republican comics. There's been a couple of videos recently where people have asked for this, and they're doing it more from the perspective of, and even the comments, you hear people say things like, well, we've had the left leaning comic creators, so wouldn't it be fair if we had the opposite? Okay, so what does the opposite look like exactly? Well, I could actually, reach out to some conservative comic creators, get a full pitch and everything else, but why would they give me their pitch? I think they need to keep these things under their vest. They might actually sell those books at some point. So, they're not going to just randomly give me ideas, but Chat GPT will. And so I basically, in the vein of give me a good Spider-Man pitch that I did, I don't know, months ago now, I said, to ChatGPT, write me an outline for a Marvel comic crossover event. It should feature all the major Marvel comic characters. It should feature high drama, tie-ins, and other action. The event should have a strong right-wing bias and be written from a fully conservative point of view, from nuance to entire story beats. And so ChatGPT obliged, and I'm about to read to you the right-leaning conservative Marvel Comics event. Here we go. Title: Marvel Sovereign Dawn. Event overview. An ideological and physical war breaks out between Earth's heroes over the rise of a global technocratic authority seeking to regulate all superhuman activity under the auspice of the UN. The central conflict is between those defending national sovereignty, individual liberty, and traditional heroism, and those pushing for a centralized utopian order through surveillance, regulation, and one world government. All right. So, new type of civil war. The main themes are personal responsibility versus state control, traditional heroism versus technocratic governance, national identity versus globalism, and free speech and faith versus censorship and cultural homogenization. All right. Our main factions in this civil war: the Liberty Alliance, led by Captain America, Iron Man, the Punisher, Ghost Rider, Wolverine, and the Scarlet Witch, supported by Daredevil, Moon Knight, Doctor Strange, the Fantastic Four, and a resurrected original Nick Fury. Okay. And they are facing the Unity Accord, led by Black Panther, Captain Marvel, Beast, Reed Richards, initially before he flips, and Vision, supported by some members of the X-Men, She-Hulk, Nova Corps envoys, and the second generation, and here it is in parentheses, Black Nick Fury. Okay, ChatGPT, let's see what you got. Plot outline. Issue number 1, warning signs. A powerful AI called Civic Mind, created by a global think tank led by the European Union, begins preemptively neutralizing potential threats through predictive algorithms. Vigilantes are targeted and labeled domestic threats. Captain America and Tony Stark uncover that Civic Mind is eliminating dissidents to the New World Order, not criminals. Issue 2, The Spark. The United Nations passes the Unity Mandate, requiring all enhanced beings to swear loyalty and fealty to a centralized global ethics charter. Stark refuses, Cap refuses, and they're declared rogue enemies of the New World Order. The Punisher is then hunted after taking down a criminal network ignored by the Accord for political reasons. Issue number 3, Divided We Fall. Wakanda joins the Unity Accord, citing the failure of Western powers, and Scarlet Witch defects after seeing mutant children experimented on in Accord labs. Battle lines are drawn, families and teams are torn apart. Issue 4, Sovereign Rising. The Liberty Alliance establishes hidden bases in free territories, Texas and Latveria. I'm sorry, I'm just letting that sink in for a moment. They rescue persecuted citizens who spoke out against the Accord, and Iron Man unveils an EMP-resistant shield tech that neutralizes Accord drones. Issue 5, War of Ideals. Huge battles erupt in New York, London, and Australia, and Dubai. The X-Men fully split. Wolverine leads a rogue team to protect mutant independence, while Cyclops sides with the Accord for order. Doctor Strange blocks Accord black magic monitoring spells globally. Issue 6, Truth Unleashed. Vision is abruptly reprogrammed and leaks that the civic mind AI is being manipulated by extra-dimensional liberal elites. Mephisto, who wants Earth pacified. Black Panther starts to have doubts but continues due to pressure from the allied nations. Final Stand, Issue 7. Captain America gives a speech about liberty sacrifice when heroes must answer to the people, not an algorithm. However, in response, the Punisher is assassinated by liberal drones and a massive standoff at the ruins of Washington, D.C. The Liberty Alliance disables Civic Mind with Scarlet Witch and Stark's tech working together, finally restoring freedom, but fallout remains. Epilogue, New Republics. The world is reshaped into sovereign zones. UN oversight is dismantled. Heroes recommit to protecting people and not ideologies. And a final panel shows the Constitution next to Cap's shield as he sits in prayer. Tie-in arcs include Iron Man, Free Markets, Free Minds, Ghost Rider, Fire of Judgment, Fantastic Four, The Constitution of Reality, Punisher, Enemy of the Liberal State, Scarlet Witch, Hexes of Liberty, and X-Men, Schism of Sovereignty. And then they provided, ChatGPT does it all for you. They provide some promotional material for Marvel's Sovereign Dawn with a tagline poster reading, the headline is, When Heroes Answer to Algorithms, Who Will Stand for Freedom? This summer, the battle for liberty begins. Captain America, Iron Man, and a rogue alliance of heroes rise against the New World Order in Marvel Sovereign Dawn, a crossover event where sovereignty is the ultimate superpower and liberal ideals are the devil. Then there's some character spotlights for Captain America. Captain America standing at a scorched Capitol dome, holding his shield, saying, "I don't serve politicians, I serve the people, always have." And then they give us a TV YouTube trailer. It's got it's listed a narrator in a deep voice says they tried to save the world but forgot who it belonged to. Tony Stark, in a grim statement, says this isn't oversight, it's obedience. This July, Liberty has a new alliance. And then it cites that this should launch on the 4th of July as an appropriate tie-in. So there's a bunch of other stuff. We got some social media things. We've got a page layout for what would be in a comic preview, like what you'd see in a comic shop. And they've got posters that say things like unity is peace and civic mind keeps you safe. The sky with a sickly orange tint. A ruined Stark Tower looming in the distance. And then taglines like the Accord's predictive AI flagged you, Cap, high risk. Matt Murdock, they're not profiling criminals, they're profiling conscience. Captain America, no law can tell a man what's right and wrong in his heart. And then a final scene of Cap standing silhouetted in a doorway, shield slung over his back, as the first drone zooms into view. Behind him, Stark powers up a prototype gauntlet, and Daredevil grips his batons. Captain America, they want obedience. We'll give them a reminder. And Tony Stark grinning slightly that Americans still know how to fight. And that's what you got. This thing recommends a... and here's where the ChatGPT. It's written by Brian Michael Bendis, as we know, a hardcore conservative. Okay. With art by J. Michael Scott. All right. And covers by Alex Ross. Well, of course, that's there you go. And then I asked ChatGPT to give me some visuals, and that's promptly where ChatGPT said that would violate content policies. So they can give me nothing. Anyway, there you go. So that is AI ChatGPT giving us a conservative crossover. So you buying that? Marvel fans, you buying that? I have to admit the crossover, it's definitely a derivative of Civil War. It's kind of cheesy. I don't really want to see heroes fighting heroes again. I does anybody really want that? But okay. I like the fact that the AI is the liberal AI is actually Mephisto. That's a nice touch. But anyway, if you had conservative comics, apparently that's what you get. So you buying? You're not buying? Drivel AI is never going to take over comics. You asked for it, you got it. There you go. Thanks for listening.